Hello. Okay, so I'm back for another video. I've been thinking for a few days on what I wanted to do next. I didn't think of anything, and then I was like, oh wait, I need to tell my own personal Reiki story. So there are kind of two parts to it. I got into Reiki because anybody who has gone through a spiritual awakening, things just start like popping up in front of you, and in such a way that you can see that it's a message. And Reiki was just like popping up everywhere. And one thing I always say about Reiki is that you cannot really truly understand what it is until you actually experience it. And so, I mean, I had heard of it, I knew of it, but I had never experienced it. But I just felt like I was supposed to have something to do with Reiki. So Googled Reiki and I picked someone, and my initial intention was just to go have Reiki done on me. And so I found this lady online, and I told her that, but somehow it just completely morphed into her teaching me Reiki. I don't even know. It just, that's the way it worked out. And so I started seeing her. She's a Reiki master. And so I started having weekly sessions with her, and I went to like a Reiki talk, and just doing stuff like that. I was pretty new into, my spiritual awakening. And so it was really like the first time that I was around like other spiritual people. Or in that kind of context, at least anyway, So then I started, when you are learning Reiki, you're supposed to do self Reiki every day for at least 21 days to get the energy flowing in your body. And so I was reading a book on Reiki and doing my self Reiki, and I was just I would do my self Reiki, and I just I kind of thought like my skin clearing up and like sleeping well and stuff was Reiki, which that can be part of it. But the first time I actually really felt Reiki, I remember I don't remember, I was probably pretty far toward the end of the 21 days of that self Reiki for 21 days after I got my first attunement. Well, I started doing self Reiki before, but after you get your first attunement, you're supposed to do self Reiki for at least 21 days. So anyway, I was doing that self Reiki, and like I got on my knee, and so my right knee has always had like a little bit of an issue, like ever since I can remember. I guess I was just born with it. And it doesn't bother me all the time. It just, like, if I stop working out for a while, and like, so my muscles get weaker, and like, especially if I gain some weight too, then my right knee will start to bother me. And then when I start working out again, until my muscles get built back up, it will hurt a little bit. Not anything really bad, but it's just always been like that. And so I was doing myself Reiki, and I was on my right knee, and all of a sudden it just like started like vibrating. Like I could feel what felt like electricity, but not painful. Just, I could just feel currents moving through like in my knee. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay. I guess that's what Reiki is. That's what it really is. But it was the first time I felt it, and it was like, I was so surprised, because you hear somebody talk about vibrations and feeling electricity, and it's kind of hard to imagine until you actually feel it, and then you're like, oh, that's it. So that was pretty crazy. And then, I don't know, I think within like the next week, I was doing my self Reiki, and so like I've had like some neck and spine issues. I used to go to a chiropractor for a while. When I went to a chiropractor, I started off going 3 times a week. Like my neck had pretty significant problems. It would like sometimes like just the muscles get like super stiff, and just, you know, something was kind of out of alignment. And so I went to a chiropractor for a while, and then I moved, and that chiropractor was too far away, and just things got crazy, and I just stopped going to the chiropractor. And so I was doing self Reiki, and you know, some people who do Reiki also get like Reiki intuition. So you get like intuitive hits about whatever's wrong with the person that you're working on. And so I was doing myself Reiki, and I got intuitive hits about myself, which I realized that my pelvis was a little bit crooked, which caused my spinal problems. And so like several years ago, when I think I was having my Kundalini awakening, like I think it like got stuck like in this spot, like right in the middle of my spine, because that spot started hurting, and it just felt like something was out of place. And then I would get these spasms there, like just muscle spasms in the spot, just like kind of like out of nowhere. Well, I didn't understand at the time, but I'm pretty sure that was when my Kundalini was waking up. And but since then, you know, my spine would bother me, and you know, I realized that something was out of alignment, and that was probably what was causing my neck. But I didn't really put it together that much back then. But so doing my self Reiki, got an intuitive hit that my pelvis was slightly out of alignment. And then another time when I was doing my self Reiki, I had my hands like here, and I felt like this really weird twisting sensation right in here, like something that I had never felt before, and I've never felt again since. It just was something like something was twisting around. It was really weird. And then that was one time, and then I think the next night when I had my hands on just like my body, and then I felt like an electrical current, and it was going straight to that spot in the very middle of my spine. And I explained it this way, you know, those like plasma balls that like it just has like electrical currents going, like purple and squiggly. It's like a glass ball, and if you put your hand on it, it'll come to your hand. I remember I live in St. Louis, and was the Science Center, I think it was the Science Center or the Magic House or somewhere had this big huge one, and you put your hand on it and it would make your hair stand up, and everybody would go and like get their picture taken with this plasma ball. Well, so that's what it felt like. I had my hands, and it felt like I could just feel a current from my hands to that spot right on my back. And it was like no matter where I moved my hands, it was going to that spot on my back. And they say that, you know, Reiki will go where it needs to go, and it totally does. Because like I said, it didn't matter where I had my hands, that current would go, and it would get stronger. Like the closer I had my hands to that spot on my back, it would get stronger. Like it would get weaker as I went, you know, away. But it was definitely going to that spot on my back. And that happened 3 times. 3 Reiki sessions. I felt that electrical current going straight to that spot on my back. And I mean, I kid you not. And so I got intuitive hits. My pelvis was a little bit crooked, and that was what caused my spinal misalignment, and probably like, I think Kundalini energy must have gotten stuck in that spot on my spine. And also, this is the craziest part, or I don't know, maybe it's not, it's all crazy, but also it like the Reiki like realigned my pelvis and spine. And I know because I don't get those issues anymore. I don't feel that spot. Sometimes I can still like very vaguely feel that spot, but it's not anything like it was. It's much, much better. My neck doesn't get stiff like it used to. I mean, well, it's just a little bit, but now I think it's just like if I sleep on it wrong. It's not like it was at all. And And also my bite changed, actually, just very imperceptibly. And you know how when you go to the dentist and you get a crown or something, like a filling, or anything, you can feel it. So after all this, after my 3 sessions where the energy went to that spot on my spine, I could tell, it felt like I had something done in my mouth. My bite was different. And like, if I go to bite like a little hangnail or something, which I know I shouldn't, but there used to be this spot that I always knew that I could get it, but it's not there anymore. I can't get my hangnails with the same spot anymore. Like, my bite changed very imperceptibly. So it, like, Reiki totally like realigned me. I mean, and I know, so I was telling a couple of my neighbors this story, I don't know, a few weeks ago, because they were asking, and one of them, I could tell, I don't think she believed me, but it's the truth. And I mean, I know it's hard. Like I said, you can't really understand what Reiki is unless you really experience it. And so I can kind of understand, you know, how people find it hard to believe. But at the same time, people have been doing Reiki for thousands of years, and why would like thousands of people do something for thousands of years if nothing ever happened? You know what I mean? So anyway, that is my personal story with Reiki. I mean, there's more to it than that too, but that is how Reiki has helped my body so far. I think that's it. Is that all I want to say? I think that's about all I want to say in this video. But so anyway, yes, and I live in St. Louis. I would love to get some new Reiki people, even practitioners, anybody who wants Reiki. I can do distance Reiki, which, you know, I made another video about a distance Reiki session that I did that was really intense. That was probably the most intense Reiki session I've done on another person. It was a distance Reiki. That was pretty incredible. So I don't know, anybody's interested and can't decide if they want to try it, you know what? You don't have anything to lose. Reiki doesn't ever do any damage. Sometimes people just fall asleep and can't really feel anything, but I think it's always doing something, and it's never gonna hurt anything. So, I mean, you don't have anything to lose. Okay, that's it. Thank you for listening. Oh, and just one more little note on an unrelated topic. I also made a video. I am in this Fab Over 40 contest for a new beauty magazine, and the first cut is tonight. And so like the first day of the competition, I was in first place, and then I went down to third place for a few days, and then I went back up to first place, and I've been in first place ever since. So last I checked, I was still in first place, and the cut is tonight. So I think I have a good chance of making the first cut. There are 20 groups, so then after tonight there will be 20 people. So anyway, I'm pretty excited. I don't know, we'll see. It would be awesome if I can win. Anyway, thank you for anybody who's listening. Take care, bye.